Na un o Cairo, special Subaru WR1, nearly. Hello!
Hello.
Is this where Philip Mills lives?
It might be. Welcome to Viking Motorsport. Come on in.
Hoo-hoo-hoo! I need my sunglasses. Yes, see. Wow, look at these boys. How are you, John?
Yeah, good. Thank you very much.
Harry Vattenen's mechanic there. Still keeping him alive on an intravenous drip.
Yeah.
Cheekies.
Well, Phil, what's here then?
Well, we have all sorts going on as ever. We try not to stick to the standard plan. Everyone seems to be slightly different.
So this is a Group 4 rally car.
This is a Group 4 rally car, a super lightweight tarmac car only. It's been built for doing tarmac rallies and sprints and all that sort of thing, yes. But it's still a Group 4 historic car, done to the technical regulations, but just for tarmac.
And where's this going to live? Who's got this?
It's going to live in Sweden.
Sweden.
Customer in the north of Sweden, and it'll end
I
up...
guess he wanted this colour so we can find it in the snow, yeah?
Well, it will help, but...
She's a bit loud, isn't she?
It'll end up doing the European Historic Tarmac Championship. Yeah. That's its home next year. And in a few weeks' time, it'll be outside and testing.
How long has this been in build? How long did it take?
Well, everyone's about the same. They're just over 1,000 hours from start to finish, so they're all very similar. This one's a bit different because it's a very light car, but a bit of extra work.
Now, this is a standard car.
That is a standard...
No arches, drums on the back, little discs.
This is a bog standard road car with a few little goodies like the carburetors and suspension and things. But it's a standard RS2000.
And this is a customer build?
Customer build, yeah. Every car here is...
Has this started life as a Group Snoot then?
Yeah, it's a bog standard road car. It was in a very bad condition, and it's come in for a full refurb. We stripped it back to bare metal and started all over again.
This is incredible, isn't it? This will actually be better than it was when it was new.
Well, I think so, yes. It'll be definitely better than when they came out of the showroom door. But the value of these cars is so high now, they're well worth preserving and looking after and doing the build.
Building this now, rebuilding this, in excess of 100,000?
No, it's not that sort of value.
Oh, right.
But these cars are selling for anything between 40 and 60,000 now, and the concourse ones are selling for a little bit more. So, you know, it's a huge value on them. And they're only going one way, which is up and up and up. So it's well worth getting them restored and putting away.
Somebody else said, buy one of these rather than put your money in the bank.
Possibly.
And here, we've got a man working on a car. We don't see that very often, do we? Who's this then, Phil?
This is Justin. This is a full-spec car. Now then, it doesn't matter what you say or what you do. We can't tell you who the owner of this car is. It's very special.
It's a secret.
It is a secret.
Who is it, Justin?
And
somebody will break by the end of the day.
No, they won't.
Guaranteed.
No, they won't. No, they won't, because we're on a zip contract. But this is a very special customer, and you will fall off the chair when you find out who it's for. But right. It's a full-spec historic car, brand new build.
Is he this country or is he foreign?
He's based all over the place. Yeah.
Doesn't give anything away there.
No. No, but it's a historic car. It's built for tarmac and gravel. It's a cross car. It's going to end up doing all types of rallies, this one. So it's an all-round car. But again, it's a historic car. It's
a historic car, but it's obviously got a lot of modern equipment in it then.
No, it's got no modern equipment
in it. Well,
it
didn't have them in Roger Clark's car, did they?
Obviously, the trip meter, you can play around with...
What else can you play around with?
Well, you can have a digital intercom and a trip meter.
What about power steering?
Definitely not.
What if you've got a letter from the doctor?
That's up for discussion, but I know some people have managed to get away with it. But no power steering. It's exactly as it was in the 70s. So, yes, you can put a digital trip meter and an intercom and a few bits and bobs, but fundamentally it's exactly the same.
What's this colour called? Is it blue or is it purple?
This is a blue. It's based on a Ford blue. I think you'll see a lot of Fiestas and things around, similar sort of blue to this. Again, it was a customer request. He spec'd the car.
So he's a he.
Well, obviously, he's a he. And
well, he could be a woman.
He spec'd the colour of the car, and that's where we ended up with that. We don't get involved with colours. That's up to the customer. Yeah.
And it's left-hand drive?
It's left-hand drive, yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So it could be going out to the country?
Possibly. Couldn't possibly comment. And
tell me, Justin, who is it?
Yeah, we've got to have some secrets.
Well, it's no fun, is it? And what's the story about this one, then?
This is the car that Craig Breen used in Killarney.
Ah, right.
That's our own car. And this is the car that's going to do the RAC rally this year.
With an unspecified driver again?
With an unspecified driver on the entry list at the moment. It's one of 3 drivers. Everybody seems to know who they are, but
you don't?
We don't yet, but we'll decide on that in the next few weeks.
How much would I have to pay if I wanted to hire this car then for the Nicky stages next weekend?
We would never hire a car to you because I saw what you did to that car on that road rally once.
Well,
not a chance.
But what if I wanted to hire it for my brother-in-law then?
I don't know. We'd have to sit down and talk about it.
Is it by request only?
It's by request. We'd have to sit down and chat.
Is there a mileage charge to it? I mean,
it obviously it all depends on mileage and the event that you're doing.
40 miles.
We'd have to sit down and have a long beer. Yeah, but you drive in, not a chance.
So what credentials would somebody have to come in here and hire a car off you then?
A driving licence and a wallet. Yeah.
Would the car be insured then?
It'd have to be.
Is there a company that will actually insure them for?
Yeah, it would have to be, and to hire a car of a value of over 6 figures, you've got to have it insured. It's too much risk,
The biggest risk is fire, isn't it?
Biggest risk is coming home with a pile of ash. Yes. If
pile of scrap, you can do something with it.
If it's a body shell replacement, it's actually not so bad. But even the cost of them are going up now. Yeah. But to come home with a fire damaged car.
What about these shells coming from China then? Have you started using them yet?
No, we haven't. That's something.
So you're still sourcing shells all around the world?
We only use original cars.
Without any rash on them?
Well, we get the cleanest ones we can and then rebuild them, yes. But no, it's
Are they coming
it's only original
available?
Cars.
Are you finding them?
They're slowing down very, very much now. There's still a few available abroad, and we just pick them up wherever we can. Right. We keep quite a big stock, but the stocks are going down, and no, it'll be a long time before we consider going down the new version of it. Yeah.
How long does 1,000 hours take?
1,000 hours.
Yeah, how long in weeks?
Well, it's 40 hours in a week. You can do the maths.
6 weeks?
Which school did you go to?
Well, 10 weeks would be 400. 20 weeks? Christ. Take a pair of time to build a car.
It's about 6 to 8 months, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
OK, where are we going now? Let's go and have a look where they're born.
Where they're born.
What do you call it? It's the delivery room.
Come on through. Don't have a look. Would you like to have a look at these along the way?
I've heard about this.
You've heard about this?
I've heard about this.
This is a Group 2 racing car. It was built for the historic touring car championship, and we've done this one to FIA standard, so we can use it in Nürburgring, Spa, Magny-Cours, all the big circuits around Europe, and it's built as an endurance car. So they're 1-hour races. 2 of the races are at night with a spotlight pod on as well, so they're really good fun.
So what engine's in this then?
This is it's a BDA, but it's a fuel-injected BDA.
Right.
And it's been built exactly as the 1981 Zakspeed car from Germany.
So is that a Sherwood engine?
Yes, Sherwood engine, but a mechanically fuel-injected engine.
This is the fuel injection system, which runs off the top of the...
It's a belt drive off the cam, which is a fuel injection system instead of carburetors that we normally use.
So they only use these engines for a couple of rallies, didn't they?
Yeah, they were used in Monte Carlo.
That's it.
Monte Carlo, but Zakspeed used them a lot in the race series in Europe, especially in the German touring car championship in the 80, 81, 79, that sort of thing.
So what made you go down this route, or was it a route that you were forced down by?
We weren't forced down, and we've been looking at it for some time, and we were quite reliant on rallying. And we just thought if rallying went quiet, and as it happened, it did do with COVID, so we started looking at touring cars, and we started looking at extreme endurance, which is very long distance cars as well, all at the same time.
I know, I've heard that these Zakspeed arches were virtually non-existent.
That's right, they were.
I know there's a little story behind these.
There's a big story, and it'd be a program in itself, but basically the original molds were found, bought, and
where were they found? Where were they? Tell us where they were found.
I think they were found actually in Blackpool, which was in an old coachworks.
How the hell did they get there?
It's all goes back right to the 70s when fiberglass was big, or fiberglass was getting big. There was no.
So are those fiberglass or steel?
They're glass fiber, exactly as they were in 1978. Yes. So the molds have been found, and we can now take arches and.
And do you make these here then, the fiberglass?
We don't make them here, but we've got the access to the molds, and they're made off-site here.
And the car is homologated with fiberglass.
It's exactly what you see there is an identical copy.
Can you make
of the car.
fiberglass arches for this car, for a rally car?
You can if you want to, yeah, but you wouldn't want to because they're too fragile.
They're too fragile.
But this car was homologated with fiberglass, so we have to keep it exactly the same.
Have you raced this?
No,
yet?
we're just about to start testing now. The circuits have just opened up now for track days and so on. It's running, it's going well. We just need to do the final suspension.
Who will drive this car then? Who's your kind of...
Again, we've got quite a few drivers on the books that we can use for racing. And
Who likes them? Who's
all sorts. There's a guy called Annie McKenna that we use, and there's a lot of guys very capable of setting a race car up. I might even have a go myself.
Yeah, because you know I'd go down a rally driver, would it? Because they wouldn't have the same...
No, I disagree with that. I think rally drivers make very good race drivers. It's race drivers that make very bad rally drivers. I would think somebody like Chris Hodgetts, or somebody like that who's had the...
Yeah. Who was the kingpin in these cars? Because I wouldn't know anything about these cars. Who was the...
In its day, or you have to go to the German touring car series and see all the German drivers that were running in. But Zaxpeed were a huge, huge company.
Where do you get all the data to build this car then? Where do you get all the information
Well, the original car's in a museum in Holland, so we took a lot of data from that. There's about 5 original cars still in existence. So we took pictures and data from everywhere that we could. And of course, it's all in the homologation papers anyway. It's still basically a Group 4 Escort.
And what about the engine then? Was that difficult to get
built? Alan Shaw had sorted that out. It's a BD engine at the end of the day with injection instead of carburetors. So
how many horses?
It's about 290, I think, something like that. Yeah. So very useful, very, very light car and lots of power. So it can only be fun.
And this is a compact car, I can see.
That's a compact car. We were on the start line in Spain last year, and I mean literally on the start line, and they cancelled the rally because of COVID, and they turned 285 cars around and we all came home. So as with everybody else, we've got a lot of cars sitting in garages at the moment. And
these are all donor cars, I assume, are they?
Them are all donor cars. Like I said, we pick them up from Sweden, Belgium, wherever we can, and all there ready to convert,
How do you find them then? Hours and hours on the internet.
We're really lucky. We've got a good customer base. We've got customers in almost every country.
And they'll give you the nod.
And sometimes you get a phone call and say, we found one in the local town. Do you want it? And we just go and get it. So it's,
And what are the average price for a donor car nowadays? Would they be up over 5-6 grand?
Oh, easily.
Easy.
10 years ago, they were 2,000 and 3,000 for a very clean car now, capable of passing MOT, it's 15 to 17,000. So things have moved on, but that's why the value of a good historic Escort, the value actually is holding really well. So people are not losing money on the cars. That's one of the big attractions of the job.
And what's this baby?
This one, that's going to a British customer, brand new. It's going to be delivered next week, a customer from Bristol.
What's he going to do with it?
Just some British rallies. Just British rallies.
The great thing about these cars as well is he buys this car now, he pays whatever it is, in excess of 100,000. He does a couple of little rallies in it. It's still worth 100,000 next year, isn't it?
That's pretty much...
You buy it on a 5 now, and it's the value is just just tumbled, isn't it?
That pretty much sums the job up. That if you can sort of get.
Why is that bit of plastic on the front?
That's just a cold weather blank for running down the main road and keeping the radiator nice and warm. But it's a very unusual market. They don't hemorrhage the value like a modern car does. As you just said, you buy a brand new R5, and in 2 years' time, it's about 50% of its original value.
How much of your business is supplying spares and parts then? Do you stick to people like Gareth Lloyd for that kind of job, or are you a parts supplier as well, or is it more building cars?
We're pretty much even split, really. It's a job in itself, just looking after our customers that we sell cars to supply them bits. We have a fantastic repeat business of our customers, and out of all the cars, bar maybe 1 or 2, they all come back here for all the rebuilds and all the parts.
It looks as though there's enough customers for the business at the moment, isn't there?
Very much so, yeah. It's a huge business, and especially Scandinavia.
Why do you think the Escort is so popular? What is the big draw? Do you know?
It's one of the easier ones to build, I guess. If you start looking at Porsches and Fiats, it's very difficult to find the parts. So, I think the parts supply is one of the biggest things. You can get everything for them now. Body panels as well. If you try and find the body panel for a Lancia Stratus, it's not too easy. So it's just the ease of getting the parts, really.
Yeah. Right, let's go and have a look at the where they start their life.
Come into the fab shop.
Where the fab people work, do they?
This is where it all happens. This is where they're all born before it happens.
This is beautiful, isn't it? Huh? Some lovely welding going on here. And look who's over there. Very capable co-driver in his day, Sean O'Gorman.
Extremely capable, yes.
From all the way in... Oh, what's the name of the village where you live? Not Stay Little.
Newtown.
Llwynagog. No, is it? Yeah. Llwynagog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Newtown now.
Newtown. You're in Newtown now,
Yeah. Yeah.
You had a big crash with David Higgins in Derby, didn't you?
Oh, 2000, aye. In Gathainog.
I remember that.
Yeah, so do
Yeah.
I.
That old little Peugeot rolled well like a ball, didn't it?
It did a bit. Yeah, there weren't many wheels left on it when it finished. It was, yeah.
No,
quite a
like
big one.
no wheels on this. What have you done to them? What have you done to this then, Sean? Tell us, give us a little bit of an inside story now.
just-
I can see a lot of welding on over there.
Yeah,
like.
we just gusted everything up, double skin everything, as you can see on the front and the bulkhead, for the oil pipes, unions.
How many hours does the Shell spend in here with you?
Oh, it depends what spec it is, really.
Right. This is
You
going
know.
to Safari, I understand.
This is
so
going Safari.
This will have a lot of
Yeah, there's a lot of double skinning under here,
Yeah.
and chassis rail, back end.
double skinning under there.
Yeah.
Make it a bit stronger.
Stronger.
like.
Yeah, we don't want punching through.
And you put these cages in then, Sean?
Yeah, all the cage work. Yeah, it's all triangulated inside.
You do all that, do you?
Yeah.
And what's happening with this one then?
This is the fast road car we're building.
I noticed some lovely hubs on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what will go in here? Pinto?
No, it's having a Duratec, this
A
one.
Duratec?
Yeah.
Ah, right. Have you done much with them then?
Not a great deal, no, to be honest. No.
So that's out of an ST 170 or something like that?
Isn't it? Yeah. You can see a carbon boot and bonnet.
Make it light. So fast road car, drifting and a bit of messing about.
Yeah,
and
I think so.
Will you have a
That's the plan
cage in it
is.
then?
No,
No
cage.
cage.
No, none at all.
Fantastic.
Yeah. No, nice little project, to be honest. Something
What do you
different.
see? What do you feel when you see these cars out of the stages, being hammered and being thrashed? Do you think, oh, my welding's held it together?
Yeah, yeah. No, it's nice when a car comes in here, it's bare shell, and then you see it driving out to the workshop there, all painted and running. It's
Do you
nice
get
pleasure.
to go on the rallies? Do you get to go out to Morocco and these
Used to,
places?
yeah, but there's no time now. And
So when they're going off on these rallies now abroad, will you get to go then? Or?
no, as we've got so much to do in the fab shop, we haven't got time really.
Right.
But the boys sort that out, so you know.
And there's always cars in here.
Yeah,
Always
yeah,
a car.
yeah, we're busy. It's good.
Good.
Really good.
Brilliant. Hey, lovely. Diolch yn fawr. Thank you very much. This Subaru, I've never seen another one like it. Tell us a little bit about this.
Well, that's fairly unique. I had that back in 2004, just after we won the championship in 2003. It was
So was this a prize for winning the championship? Like
not exactly, but it was a special build at the factory. They wanted to do something, so they made a special build.
And with it being WR1, is this the first car off the production line?
They made a very limited edition. Petter had one and I had one. And they tried to recreate the rally car that we won the championship. So it's 335 horsepower, adjustable diffs, big brakes, all the rest of it. And I was very, very fortunate that this is chassis 001.
So this is some car then?
It is.
This
It's quite
is some
unique.
machine.
There's not many of them about, that's for
How
sure.
many did they make?
Well, the total series was 555 to
Right.
celebrate the 555 sponsorship.
Right.
But of the special build, is just a handful. It's
And what
just-
does it say inside? You know, with a little badge inside, isn't
There's
there?
a little badge on the dash which says championship winning car and chassis number 1.
Oh, down there, yeah.
And chassis number 1, yeah.
How much mileage on this then, Phil?
Just 2,500. It's just a toy that comes out for MOT once a year.
So you'll never sell this, Phil?
No, absolutely not.
No,
it's
it's
too
pretty
special,
special,
and
yeah.
too unique
Yeah.
to do that. I hope to hand it down through the family as the years go on, you know. Yeah, I'll just try and look after it if I don't.
That is very special. Fair
If I
play.
don't do anything silly in it, because it's very tempting when you drive it.
Oh, I'm sure.
drive it,
And you
yeah.
don't drive it much, then? You've only got
No, we
12,000
don't.
miles.
But the trouble is, when you do drive it, you tend to get a bit carried away because it's so nice, you know.
Right, there's some other toys here as well, isn't there?
There's some other toys and some other projects that you need to see that we're involved with at the moment. So,
Wow, look at that!
well,
Woohoo! What
yeah,
is that?
well, that is a 1939 Chevrolet Coupe. We built another project that we were looking at when rallying started to go a bit quiet. We started looking at extreme long distance rallying, which is something that I had a passion for a long time ago, and we decided to look at it in depth. These cars are built for endurance rallying, such as Sahara Classic.
So it's engine in the front, gearbox in the middle, rear-wheel drive, rear axle.
Conventional, leaf springs. The rules of the rally are no service.
No service?
No service at all.
Oh, my God.
So we built it, I hate the term, but we built it like a tank so that the driver...
But is it open?
Yes, the driver customer doesn't have to do too much in the way of service. So everything is overboard and triple plated and double strength and all the rest of it. The spare parts, there is enough to build the car on board in the car, should it have any problems on the event. Space is an absolute premium on it. It's not easy to find space, especially that's why we put a wheel on the roof and so on.
Now, who's going to drive this then? Is this going to be the Argentinians Compangs?
This particular car will be, yes, an Argentinian customer, yes.
So are they capable enough to repair?
Yes, there's a service backup on the event. There's some tail end Charlies, as we call them. They follow the event and they're capable of repairing the car. But the two crew, they have to do 90% of the repairs themselves. But there's everything bolted inside the car, all the spare parts that we can dream of. But like I said, space is a premium, so things like the suspension, the leaf springs, we've made the front bumpers out of the springs. So things like that. So if you have a problem with a broken spring, you take the bumper off and do it like that.
It's a beautiful creation.
There's a lot of work and a lot of
absolutely beautiful.
It's just something, it's still rallying, but like I said, we were too reliant on modern day rallying or modern historical.
And I guess the COVID reiterated that,
yes,
didn't it, really?
It did, and it's just opened the doors to a completely different market and a completely different avenue, although it's still rallying.
It's wonderful, isn't it?
It's
absolutely fantastic.
It's very different, and we're quite looking forward to go testing in it quite soon.
I'm surprised. I'm shocked. Like I really am sort of gobsmacked that it's a 1939 car. Like
it is. You just have to pinch yourself sometimes and just remind yourself that was.
What does it go like? What is it?
It's surprisingly
Have you taken off road? Then what is it like?
It's very, very good, and the suspension is amazing.
So it's got springs on it. Is there any shock absorbers then? No.
There's shock absorbers connected to leaf springs.
Right.
The rules are very, very strict. You have to use all the original equipment. So it's got original drum brakes, original leaf springs, original
drums on the front as well.
Yeah, drums on the front as well. We've put air vents in them to get as much air in as we can and try and help it. But at the end of the day, it's a 1939 Chevrolet. And we found it in a breaker's yard in California with the original bill of sale. It was bought by a doctor in California, and there's quite a history to the car itself. So it's a really nice history project.
Boys, you like toast? Again.
Yeah.
What's this then? Oh, kicked something. Yeah. That's got a bit of history to it. Now,
that's got a huge history file on it, yes. Yeah.
Mike Stewart?
Mike Stewart ran it in the National Championship for many, many, many years. And before that, it was originally built. It was a German Group 1 car, non-arched, which is a bit of a soft spot for me. I do. Now,
the number plate is kind of factory, isn't it?
It is. And Prince Michael HRH of Kent, he ran it in the Tour of Britain and the REC. He went off in Havron for about an hour and destroyed his rally, but that was the story of that. It was then sold to MCD, and Louise Aiken Walker ran it on the Manx and the REC.
Right.
So that's the history of the car.
So what's it doing here?
Then Mike Stewart had it for a long time. It's back in. It's a complete head-to-toe refurbishment. Right. And that's a project for starting in August.
And where will that go after it's finished?
It's a British customer, and it'll just go and do like demonstration rallies.
Runs.
But it will be used, and it'll be done.
And that'll have the big round air cleaner on it, won't it?
It's a true Group 1 German-built Group 1 car.
Because they're quite difficult. They're quite rare to find now, aren't they?
It's got all the original IDF carburetors and all the original bits on it with the big pancake air filter.
Are they quite easy to find? Somebody said they're quite difficult to
No,
get hold
those
of.
are extremely rare, yes. It'd be like finding Howard Davies's wallet, that would be. Almost impossible, but it is there somewhere, if you know what I mean. Yeah, yeah.
So, Viking Motorsport, celebrating how many years?
13 now, full time.
13.
Yeah, we were doing it a few years before
You must have
that
had
as
enough by now, surely.
Well, every day is a school
You must
day.
have had enough in both cases now, enough of work and enough money.
It's just fun. And when we set the business up, we were determined to make it fun, you know, as well as a business. And we employ quite a few people now. That was never the plan. But we've ended up doing that because we've got so many customers.
And do you get the car back from Sweden from Petter to maintain? Or does he do it himself?
We do. They run it on events with their team, and we fly out normally to prop it up. And at the end of the season, the car will come back for a major rebuild.
And what about Oliver?
Well, he's some boy. We had him on a frozen lake now a few weeks ago in Petter's car on studded tyres. And I must say, he had a bigger grin on his face than when he came out of the WRC Hyundai, just saying.
You were supposed to go to Safari, weren't you, to help him, but
We were,
the
yes.
restrictions were just too much for you in the business.
It was. We were due to go out, and Petter and myself were going to go out and look at the stages and do all the things, but 10 days in quarantine just wasn't going to work, so I missed that one eventually. But we do plan on the next event and Spain and so on to get out there. So.
Fantastic, great. Lovely to see you. Thanks for the look round. Good luck.
Thank you very much. Nice to see you.